Well, at the time, it was considered America's worst commercial aviation disaster. Today, it remains one of our country's most mysterious airplane crashes.
The wreckage of Northwest Airlines Flight 2501, which crashed into Lake Michigan in 1950, just off the coast of South Haven, has never been located, and the cause has never been determined.
WZZM 13's Brent Ashcroft introduces us to the people determined to solve the 62-year mystery.
Riverview Cemetery, St. Joseph, Michigan. A garden of stones, with each one a name, a memory, and a soul departed. The stone bearing the number 2501,
oddly, there were no bones,
is the symbolic resting place
where the remains of all of the cremated victims were buried.
For 58 names.
These were real people, and their lives were just lost in an instant.
The victims may be here, but the answers to why are buried elsewhere.
It's out there somewhere.
Deep in a watery grave.
It could be anywhere as far as 50 miles offshore.
June 23rd, 1950, Northwest Flight 2501, a DC-4 propliner, crashed into Lake Michigan off the coast of South Haven.
It was clear that this was a complete and total loss.
Valerie Van Heest has been searching for it since 2004.
Each year we get closer because each year we know where the plane isn't.
The flight plan had 2501 leaving New York non-stop for Minneapolis.
It was given clearance to fly at 6,000 feet.
A few hours into the flight, the weather intensified.
Pilot Robert Lind was told there was a squall line developing over the Great Lakes.
The Battle Creek Tower suggested the plane drop to 3,500 feet to fly under the storm.
Robert Lind agreed to fly lower.
Facts then led to speculation.
Lind must have decided to divert off of his course line on Red 57.
10 minutes after that, he told Chicago he was heading south. Near Benton Harbor, Lind asked to reduce his altitude to 2,500 feet.
He didn't say why.
Just after midnight, 2501 passed the shoreline.
Anything that happened beyond that is unknown.
And crashed into the deep. 55 passengers and 3 crew members perished.
There were no complete humans found.
Van Heest's interest in the plane grew, as did her interest in finding living relatives of the victims.
I found 50 of the 58 families.
Many of their stories heart-wrenching.
One of the passengers, Rosalie Gorski, died while pregnant. Her husband didn't even know it. I learned from her sister that she had just found out she was having a baby, and she was on her way to share that story with her husband. To this day, he doesn't know. And he went to his grave not knowing.
The only known survivor of the crash.
This shirt belonged to one of the victims on the airplane. It's the only thing we know is saved.
Now, more than a half-century later, a dedicated team is searching for the plane.
To try to find the small pieces of the airplane was beyond our technical capabilities.
With the financial support of novelist Clive Cussler.
When Clive Cussler makes an offer like that, you don't refuse. It was even more exciting when he told us who he would be sending to West Michigan.
Ralph Wilbanks, one of the nation's preeminent sonar operators.
Well, it'll be nice to really find this airplane.
He and Cussler teamed up to find the Civil War submarine H.L. Hunley.
We're just Irish setters. Clive throws a stick and we fetch.
They're also determined to find 2501. For 9 years, every spring, the Numa crew has searched.
Very systematic.
Scanning the lake.
We'll move up, down, sideways, right, left.
On the days weather permits, covering 2 square miles.
We should be able to see it.
Using a magnetometer and side-scan sonar to try to locate the wreckage.
It's got to be something that sticks out.
Wilbanks estimates his crew has scanned more than 300 square miles of the lake's bottom.
If it's buried, we won't find it.
Still, Flight 2501 remains missing.
Every day we go out could be the day.
What isn't missing is hope. because the descendants of these 58 names want closure, even after 6 decades.
It's going to be found. We just don't know when.
An ending that isn't written in stone just yet. In St. Joseph, Brent Ashcroft, WZZM 13 News.
Ralph Wilbank says his crew will continue to search for Flight 2501 until Memorial Day. If they don't find it, Wilbanks hopes to return to South Haven next spring for a 10th expedition. Valerie Van Heest is currently writing a book about the flight. She hopes to have it completed by early next year.